2, 3. I see color, I see feet. I see a hog that's ready to eat.
Yes! So a dish like jerk is like, to me, it's like resistance food, right? Because so many of these dishes were like rooted in extraordinarily difficult circumstances. And rather than just eating for sustenance, rather than just eating to stay alive, rather than just eating to live, like people kind of like, they live to eat, right? Because we're not just going to make food that's going to keep us alive, but we are going to get joy from this food. Like there's, I imagine, very little joy around us, but we're going to make delicious food. Food so delicious that, like, what, 500 years later, we're still eating it, and everyone in the world knows about it. To me, that's like Jamaica's got the best food in the world. Every time I come back, I just learn more about the island, and I guess through that, I learn a bit more about myself as well. So I'm Melissa Thompson, and I am a food writer, author, and chef, and I specialise in live fire cooking, barbecue grilling. So my dad is Jamaican, my mum's Maltese, and I didn't get to Jamaica until I was in my 20s, I think. My dad left when he was 9 years old. My Jamaican identity, I guess, I felt that the most when I was eating or cooking Jamaican food.
Food tells a story, it tells you what the culture is and who you are. When you're cooking from ancestors or cooking from elders, is a passion. You cook with love, and that's what Jamaican food is. The flavors are fused together, and that creates that one love flavor.
Hey man.
Melissa, what go on?
How you doing, Matthew? Matthew Robinson is a food boss. So I came across him on social media a couple of years ago, and just what I liked about him is that he showcases food around the island, like some of the smaller producers as well.
One thing about jerk, you need the best ingredients, and the best way to get the ingredients is from the people.
So what we're gonna go and
We're heading right up here. We're going to meet with my friend, Chef Manzie, who is a Jamaican jerk champion, to get some of the spices from a stall that he frequents. Manzie, what go on, my brother?
Where so man?
Greetings and salutations.
Hello, brother. Blessings, bro.
Hey, Melissa.
Hi, Melissa.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to
I've
meet
heard a
you.
lot about you.
So have I. I've heard a lot about you too.
So what goes into your jerk?
It's a secret. The basics is pimento. You gotta have that. That's the #1 spice. You gotta have your scotchbonnet peppers. Thyme. You gotta have your garlic, and also you know that garlic is a tenderized. It is not all about the seasoning. It's all about the process.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have a whole lot to go in there.
So what the thing that we use with Scotch bonnet pepper, yellow or red is for heat, green is for flavor.
Okay.
So we're going with a little more heat with the yellows.
Okay.
I see. This
yes.
is the pimento.
Yeah,
Can I get a sniff of that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Proper.
Yeah, proper.
It's like the clove.
It's the same family of the clove, but pimento packs a better punch.
Jamaican
Ginger is the smaller one.
Yes.
The foreign ginger is the larger
Okay.
one. One thing Jamaica is known for is the flavor of our ginger. We have one of the most intense gingers in the world.
Is that corn over there? Like food in Jamaica is everywhere. Like you look at a tree and there is stuff growing in it, like all the time. Like I spoke to a chef here and he was like, you know, you can be poor in Jamaica, but you'll never be hungry. I'm just having a look. Thank you. So Chef Manzie, like best jerk chef in Jamaica, would you say?
He has a trophy to prove it.
Okay, nice. So the purpose of this trip was to go into the mountains and cook jerk how it would have been cooked originally by the Maroons with help from the Taínos.
A lot of people love barbecue. I think it's from Texas, Kansas City, Carolinas. Barbecue was developed in the Caribbean by the Taínos. The Taínos, they were the original Jamaican inhabitants. And the Maroons are slaves that ran away from the plantation that ended up fighting enslavement. Most of them went into the hills, into caves.
Even though the English forces greatly outnumbered the Maroons and were far better equipped, it seemed these Maroon soldiers were all but invincible.
Taínos cooked barbecue similar to how jerk is done in Jamaica, but it's reversed because it's above ground. Once they and the Maroons started to run away, it became jerk by burying it underground.
The British were trying to recapture them, so the whole point was to cook underground, not give too much smoke away.
And that fusion of them coming together and creating this style of cooking is what became jerk. It was crucial for both of their survivals.
Jamaicans and people with Jamaican heritage, like why it means so much to us and why it's such an important dish. It tastes good, but also there's the story. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, man.
Where did the name come from?
Father.
Father Chris.
Right now,
I go around and treat everybody good, you know, so they call me father. I'm like a father to plenty of them, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, man. So that's why they call me Father Chris.
Nice.
Yeah, man. We grow pineapples, plantains, yam, cocoa, dasheen, peppers, papaya.
We didn't necessarily have a list of things. I think the beauty of it was just knowing that we were going to just go and see what was there and like kind of surrender to the seasons a bit.
Scotch bonnet pepper. The flavour embodies Jamaica. The flavours, the spice, it reminds you of a little reggae, a little dance, a little flow of Jamaica. That thing, that swagger that Jamaica has is embedded in Scotch bonnet pepper and pimento. When you're throwing down in Jamaica, you always have that in your kitchen.
So you want to taste it? Taste it, man.
Yeah, I want to taste it. The flavour.
Taste it,
They're
man.
warm.
I think they're so hot.
Have some spice.
Woo! Chuck it. Can I try some? Are you going to eat the whole thing?
No. It's not the hello, it's the bye-bye.
I was so excited to get going the next day because like we were all set, and so all we needed to do was not mess the cook up.
Top your rock now, man.
What I was excited to see about this is just the process of cooking jerk underground, and also how it would affect the flavour. But what makes, I mean, like, because you're like jerk champion, so what makes your jerk so good?
It's all about the process and the love that you put into it. It's something that, you know, I've always wanted to do. I've always seen it. We've always had it. And my process, it takes time. It's not something where I'm never ever going to use a jar. You know what I'm saying? So my ingredients are fresh all the time.
Okay.
You know, it's just the love that you put into it.
Now, to keep it as traditional as we wanted, we had to wash the hog in the river. Because we were at a place where the Maroons and the Taínos were, we have to keep it as authentic as can be.
Manzie's method is a dry rub that helps the wet rub stick. So the dry rub was a mixture of like pepper, pimento, paprika, salt, garlic powder. And so then we helped him get the wet marinade together, which is everything that we'd gone shopping for.
Wild hogs would roam in the mountains and they would be hunted, trapped. And that is how the marinade came around. It wasn't jerk chicken, which is what a lot of people know throughout the world. I mean, respect that, because a lot of cultures don't eat pork. Nothing like putting a hog on that fire and putting that seasoning on it and having that fat render down and creating that crust and that crunch and that Jamaican flavor of Scotch bonnet pepper, pimento, thyme, onion, scallion. It also has the smoke going up, but not enough smoke to give away the location. The smoke rises, but it dissipates into the air itself. So we have it down in there, it's cooking, and we're going to come back in a few hours and check it.
What are your inspirations when you're coming up with these?
So, like here, so going to a jerk pit, and I bought this bottle of pepper sauce back with me. The flavour was just out of this world. And so now, whenever I'm making jerk, I always make a pepper sauce, and I always roast the vegetables. Because like in the UK,
it brings out more flavour when you roast them as well.
And I think especially in the UK, because like the UK, like it's not like Jamaica, so the ingredients we get, like the tomatoes aren't going to be as sweet, the peppers aren't going to be as sweet, and so this just helps like bring out that flavour and makes things a bit tastier. Right, that's it, pepper sauce.
I hope it reconnected Melissa with her roots and just feel the experience of it, because up from there you have the caves, you have the arawaks that were right there on there. So it's a place that has spiritual value to what we're doing. The Maroons escaped and most of them went into the hills, into caves. And from there they would plan how they would attack and when they would attack.
One of the most special things for me, aside from the cook itself, was going to see the caves. It just felt very kind of surreal, very like sobering. Really weird, because it's almost like, you know, when you go to, I don't know, like a really intricate cathedral.
Yeah.
Like almost like Gothic or something, and it
has a presence.
Yeah, it really does.
Aura.
And it's like you have meetings, and then you have meetings, right? Like meetings that are going to determine like whether you live or die.
It determines history.
Yeah.
These meetings determined the faith of Jamaica,
the faith of like the whole communities, man.
Faith of thousands of people, the entire island of Jamaica, they're enslaved.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to overstate it, but it was almost like a life-defining moment. Like, I spent so long researching and writing about the Maroons and them choosing places that were like really difficult for people to get to, and it's one thing to read about it, but to go and see it, to climb that route, walk in their footsteps, to literally walk in their footsteps, right? We're all looking for connection. We're all looking for connection, and so that for me was like really magical. Like, yeah. What an experience. Oh man.
We're gonna go straight up.
1,
2, 3.
I mean, the thing about cooking like underground is that you can't probe it for the temperature, so you have to just trust the process.
Once we opened it, it was like unwrapping a Christmas gift. You smell the pimento, you smell the spices that have got a little char from the belly. You could smell the jerk.
You happy?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
And obviously, like Manzie, Matty and I had to have like chef's perk, like first taste. And then we had a little bit, and then we had like another little bit, and we kind of couldn't stop because it was just like the sweetest pork, and it was like the most like smokiest kind of, but quite a subtle smoke, and it was perfect. It just felt like a triumphant moment.
Everybody has this tendency where food can be complex. It can get very complexity with your flavors. It can still be simple and it can still be great. This was done hundreds of years before. And these are the flavors that we're eating today and we're still experiencing and enjoying today.
So on a personal level, so when I wrote my book, Motherland, I researched so much about jerk and the Maroons and the Taíno, and how this kind of collaboration between the two groups resulted in this dish that we know so well. And to go to a place where we know Maroons had walked that path, like for me personally, kind of everything makes sense. Everything that you know about jerk, everything that you've ever read, to see it, it makes sense.
If you want to talk about jerk, you have to know the history of jerk. You have to know where it's coming from. If you don't know your history, you're like a tree without roots. And what's a tree without roots? It's not grounded. It's not going to grow. It's not going to expand. So to connect with her and share this experience was something simply unique, simply amazing, and something I really cherish.